Maggie, we're standing here right off to the side of the road here on Harbor Drive in Ridgeland. You can see this is a large hole. Starts at 6 for the VIPs. And Melissa
Owsley has those stories and more in tonight's Hollywood Nation.
Finding that first job was an interesting process. What I did that summer after I graduated was I went online and essentially looked at the Nielsen DMA rankings. Each city in America essentially is ranked by the number of people that can watch the local television there, and you kind of work your way towards the bottom of the ladder and find these towns, some of them you have never even heard of. The Kimberton post office got used to seeing me that summer, just coming in and dropping off these manila envelopes with a DVD and a resume in it and being sent to all corners of the country.
You may be a legend at Penn, but a new school and a new conference means new challenges for Coach Dunphy, including inheriting a roster.
Growing up in Phoenixville was fun. You know, seeing the town when I was much younger to when I got to middle school to high school, and now when I come back now, it's amazing to see what's become of it, from small town Phoenixville to all of a sudden this place where a lot of people want to be. Phoenixville certainly has its own image and its own reputation and its own sense of hometown pride. And it's interesting now coming back to see how much it's grown. We couldn't get college friends to come visit Phoenixville in summers and stuff, and now people are moving out here and making Phoenixville their hometown. That's something interesting to see for sure. Late last year, I felt something hard in my calf that I knew shouldn't be there, and given my history in that leg, I knew exactly what it was. So the day I got the results, I was fine, because I had mentally prepared myself for the process that I had gone through 5 years prior, where, all right, they're gonna go in, I'm gonna have surgery, they're gonna take it out, and radiation, chemo thereafter or whatever. I'd been through it once, and that was kind of, in my mind, propped me up a little. Made me feel a little more confident. You did this once, you can do it again. What I wasn't ready for that day was the surgeons telling me, she says, you know, yeah, it's a tumor, this, that, and I'm digesting the news, and she asks, can I ask you if you've been short of breath recently? And I said, no. And that's when she told me that it had spread, metastasized is the scientific word, traveled through the bloodstream up to spots in both of my lungs. And that this was far more serious than anything I had dealt with prior or anything that I had prepared myself to hear that day. And it was a tough day hearing that. I think it's kind of twofold. It's internal and external, where I get my motivation to just kind of go through this and be strong and do it with a smile on my face most of the time. The internal part is just kind of a resolve to just grit my teeth and bear it and just go ahead, and this is what the doctors say and this is what I have to do, and if I do it all, I should be fine. The external part, which was apparent to me right away that night when I came home and started telling everyone, was just other people were going to be there for me, never quit on me, never give up on me. So I had nothing to do but keep fighting for them. Essentially, you know, I decided I was going to work through all of this as much as I could just for my mental state of mind to keep a sense of normalcy going. For the sake of transparency, when you're going to lose all your hair all of a sudden and remain on TV, one day you have hair and then it starts thinning, and the next day you've buzzed it off, and then a week after that you're just bald. People are going to draw their own conclusions unless you're open with them about it. So to me, it almost forced my hand, and I'm almost glad it did, that I could be forthright with everyone and explain to them, like, no, I didn't lose a bet and shave my head. There's a reason for it, and here's why. And behind the scenes, my co-anchor, Melissa Faith Payne, was great. She set up, you know, meal trains for me on days I had like chemo treatment and I'd be busy. I'd come to work late and there'd be food there waiting for me. I'd have dinner taken care of me for that night. It is something to see people who may not have known me for that long, someone who isn't from there, whether it be in the station or outside the station, just to be so thoughtful of me as I go through this. What's next for me, I still have more surgery coming up. I have to get these spots out of my lungs. Good news is, I got good news recently that on my latest CT scan that was taken a few weeks ago, that they are shrinking. So for the rest of my life, it'll be getting scans and fingers crossed on the results each time as I get them every couple months. But you adjust to new realities, and that'll be mine, and I'll be okay with it. You know, my parents were, in terms of wanting to get back on air, my parents have kind of been trying to tell me I don't have to rush back or something, and I'm telling them I've got a spot to protect down there in Mississippi. It's been too many weeks down there without my face on TV, and you do miss it, and you miss kind of your role in life down there as the local newsman. It's hard to explain it, but you do miss it. I'm Mike Sands, and this has been a Voxy Pop Spotlight.